So, kind of on-off rainy, misty day. Not very warm, 51. More like sort of like early winter. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about something that happened just the other day. And it, well, I'll let you guys make up your mind of what you think. Let's go on with the walk. I think we still have another hour before the rain hits. Alright, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was something horrible I saw when I checked out the CO2 count for today. But this was on the 12th of January 2018. I saw 407.98 parts per million. And you say, well, that's not bad compared. But January 12th, 2019, that's the problem. 413.45 parts per million. This is another CO2 spike, a serious spike. Let's look at the chart here and look. See how bad that spike is? Oh, are we getting in trouble? The oceans are clearly no longer drinking up CO2 fast enough. Oh boy. Well, let's continue on. There's far more horrible CO2 news up ahead. Let's look at CO2 growth rate. The chart for that, as you can see, is just going off the scale. Now you got to remember one other thing. 8,000 years ago, the atmosphere was thicker and higher pressure than it is today. The Earth, this planet, has seen much higher CO2 levels. In fact, during the CO2 was above 8,000 parts per million back then. And there was life then. So you know that these high CO2 numbers are bad, but I don't think they're gonna quite destroy the planet anytime soon, as in the next 20 or 30 years. I do think that we will get heat waves, one after another, and they will creep up in temperature about 2 to 3 degrees every year, it looks like now. The heat waves keep getting hotter. A lot of places are now seeing 113 to 117 degrees Fahrenheit, like in Australia and the Middle East. Coming soon to a place where you live. I'm just curious, where will we get the power to run all the air conditioning for the 9 billion humans on the planet? When we saw 400 parts per million on this planet, sea level at that time was unbelievable. 25 centimeters higher, or 82 feet higher than it is present. So you may be skeptical of that information because of where scientists get that information. That's the way you get that, is through sea level rise. You know that every time the CO2 on this planet goes up, the sea level goes up regularly, continuously, like a clock. That's how we know when the last time we saw 400 parts per million. Oh my, let's hope this, because the planet was a different planet that long ago. The continents were moving around a lot. The Earth was in turmoil, and the sun was 4% less powerful than it is today, back then. As the sun gets older, millions and millions of years, it will get hotter and hotter and start to flare more and more. And sooner or later, Earth is going to catch one of these flares. And when it does, it will knock out most of the power grid around the planet that the flare strikes. Now, flares come in all different kinds, powers and different frequencies, so you never know when that particular flare is going to hit, because there's too much variability to it. These are the coolest little flowers. They're coming out faster than I've ever seen before here in the Bay Area, San Francisco, California, US. Let's have a gloss at the springtime flower. So what are the things that we can do to mitigate our own footprint of CO2? Stop eating meat, stop driving big vehicles, try to ride public transportation, a bicycle, or even your feet. Just once a week instead of driving. See how much that can help. Anything's better than nothing at this point. And the whole thing is that CO2 hasn't been high like this for thousands of years, or even a million years, and then it suddenly just shoots up like this in just a short amount of time. We're completely in uncharted territories on what the effects to this planet will be once the catch-up happens. In other words, everything catches up to the CO2, the heat, the sea level rise, the toxification of the ocean, the increased winds, the increased moisture level in the air, causing a lot more rain to fall at each storm. So, I definitely did read all your last comments on the last videos. They were excellent. Maybe there's a homeless encampment over this way. I just noticed. I think they're annoyed with me. I better move on. So, I definitely appreciate all your ups and the downs and the new subscribers. And until next time.